Good afternoon everyone, and welcome to another video review from Bridgeburner Gaming in association with our good friends over at fishmonkeyproductions.com. And today I am taking on the slightly monumental task of reviewing Journey for the PlayStation 4. Now, for those of you that don't know, Journey was originally a digital game released on the PlayStation Network, developed by Thatgamecompany for the PS3 way back in March 2012. And I describe going into this review as a bit of a monumental task. You know, on the surface this game looks like it's very simple and very easy to sort of describe, and in a way it kind of is, but it is also a game that sort of defies any sort of description or review really. It is a game that is based on player experiences, and every single player that plays Journey is going to have a different experience, an amazing experience, but very different experiences. So the premise of the game is you start off, as you can see, as this robed figure, and you start off completely on your own and isolated in this, you know, vast solitary desert. And as you progress through the game, you're going to meet other road players, which will be other people playing through the game at the exact same time as you. Now, you can see that I'm sort of making these sort of like musical sort of communication noises like you just saw just there, and that is the only way that you can communicate with players who are playing online at the same time as you, which is such a beautiful thing because it instantly does away with any sort of trolling or any sort of like negative things that are normally associated when going in to play an online game. There's no voice chat, you literally just have these musical chimes, you know, these musical little bleeps and bloops, which is your only way of communicating with other players, and it works like every other thing in this game perfectly. Now, this game has been remastered for the PS4. I don't believe it's entirely been rebuilt from the ground up, but as you can see, the sand particles, the draw distance, just everything about this game is much sharper, much smoother. The frame rate is stunning throughout. There is not a single point that I played through in the 2 times that I've played it since purchasing it, or re-downloading it, because I already owned it on the PS3, where the frame rate fell or dipped or there was any sort of slowdown or anything at all. Now, what I'm about to do here is, this is your main sort of way of travelling around the map fairly sort of fast. You get these little bits of scarf made out of light, as you can see here, and when you hold down the X button, it gives you a short period where your character can glide beautifully across the desert, and as you sort of collect more and more of these bits of scarf, you can then glide for longer and further, which allows you to get access to a few sort of tough to reach places. It also makes traversing the game a lot more straightforward. Now, as you can see, right in front of me is a mountain with a light coming out the top, and from what you saw of the sort of like opening cutscene, and you'll see from another sort of short cutscene in a bit, that is the goal. It is purely as simple as that. Every single player that plays this game is trying to make this pilgrimage, whether it's religious or for any other reason. They are trying to make this pilgrimage to this mountain, and again, that is just one of the things that works so beautifully and so perfectly with this game, is that everyone has the same objective. There aren't people trying to do different things. There might be sort of like people that you meet who are trying to sort of like get all the collectibles or things like that, but that doesn't ever affect your game. And like I said, with the other players, that also comes into describing other people. When I said everyone's experience is different, it is your interaction with other players that makes the game different. I'm not going to go into any spoiler territory, but the feeling that you get in the last sort of 10-15 minutes of this game, after making this huge pilgrimage with another player for most of the game, and you've been companions for most of the journey, is a feeling and emotion unlike any other you'll probably experience in any game that is out there. One of the things that I will strongly recommend you do, this game is incredibly short, and it doesn't need to be a long game. It definitely doesn't need to be a long game, and again, the length of this game is perfect. You can get through it, you know, if you're sort of like taking your time and just sort of like exploring as you go, you can get through it in probably 2 to 3 hours at the most. And that is all you need, because I strongly recommend that you play this game through from beginning to end in one sitting, because like I said, it's when you have these experiences with other players and when you sort of like go through vast areas of the game together with another player, or you know, various other players, that is where the emotion and the connection that makes Journey so unique and special and important really comes into play. So I would definitely say, you know, make yourself a nice hot chocolate and just sit down, dim the lights, put the headphones in, and just completely immerse yourself in this game. Like I said, I had this game on the PS3 and I played through it twice. Both times, even though you're playing through the same game, I came out feeling emotionally different each time, just because of the experiences that I had with the other people. My friend Kurt went and bought this on the PS4. He didn't get around to playing it on the PS3, and I messaged him straight away as soon as he said that he'd bought it. I was so excited for him, and I messaged him straight away and was just like, dude, sit through it in one go. Like, it's not a long game, just play through it in one go and just lose yourself in this game, in this journey, because it's incredible. And he did, and he was messaging me later that evening just saying how blown away he was by the whole experience. And I'm pretty sure, I do remember, I think it was on YouTube, there is an amazing video which I think is just called something like Journey Testimonials or something like that, and it's basically a collection of people from around the world who played through Journey and how it affected them, and it's absolutely fantastic. It's so good. You know, some people have, you know, formed lasting friendships through this game. You don't find out who the players are that you've met until the very end of the game. When the credits roll, it comes up saying players met, and it will give you their, you know, their PlayStation Network ID, which, you know, in some scenarios sort of can take you out of the world a little bit and can sort of like break the immersion when you've played through this gorgeous, stunning game with with another person, and you've shared these experiences together, and then it comes up and it says your mum's boobs 86 was one of the players that you met. So, you know, it swings and roundabouts. It doesn't ruin the game at all in any way. This is one of the area that you're seeing here is one of the first big sort of open areas that you get to in the game, and this is going to be the last area that we look at in the game, because I just wanted to show you. I do believe that I meet another player in this section. The whole point of this section is that you're trying to rebuild this bridge just to get to the next part of your journey, and you do that by sort of breathing life into these sort of bits of fabric that you find. One thing that I will say is that this game really aesthetically borrows massively from you know, games like Shadows of the Colossus and Ico, games like that where you just have these huge, gorgeous, abandoned, mystical vistas which just feel like they're steeped in lore and history, and you just sort of think, you know, what did these columns and this bridge look like back when, you know, they were first created, and like this area was presumably inhabited by other people or other creatures. And you will be passing through some of the most stunning environments that you will ever see in any video game, I guarantee you. And yeah, it's just, I cannot sing this game's praises highly enough. There is not a single thing about it. You know, there are very few games that I would ever describe as perfect. Even my favourite game of all time, Final Fantasy VII, I would not describe as perfect. I know that it has its flaws, but this game, the music, the graphics, the sound effects, the atmosphere, the online functions of it, everything about this game just scream perfection. They are so good. Now, you just saw there was a slight white glow on the side of my screen. Now that shows that there is another character in the game who is either trying to communicate with me or making the musical sound effects. So that's how you can always keep sort of like an eye on where other people are as you're progressing through the game with them. There you go, you can just see him there just down to the left. He's in a white robe, which means he has got all the scarf collectibles. I unfortunately haven't in the PS4 version yet. I did in the PS3 version, but unfortunately I didn't quite get them all in this one. So that is the last bit of the bridge being formed there, and I'm just going to glide over to the other player, just so you can, you know, see what that sort of like looks like. So you can see him just down there, that little speck of white. That is the other player in this world at the moment. And you know, there's no matchmaking or anything, so unfortunately, you know, if you did want to play this through with a friend, chances are that's probably never going to happen, because you're just randomly sort of like paired and teamed up with other players as they play the game. And in a way that's a good thing, because you know, you never know who you're playing with, and that, you know, makes the feeling of meeting another stranger in this world genuine. You know, you are meeting another person who you don't know, and you know, you are going to share most, if not all, of this journey together. So yeah guys, that was Journey for the PlayStation 4. I cannot recommend enough buying this game. Like I said, it is cross-buy, so if you already own it for the PS3, or you own a PS3 and a PS4 and you buy it for either one, you are going to get that game twice. It's also 2 separate trophy lists, so playing it through on one console and then again on another console, you are going to be earning those trophies again, if that is any incentive for you. So yeah, like I said, I cannot stress buying this game enough. Back in 2013 it won so many Game of the Year awards, which was at the time pretty much unheard of for an indie downloadable game. It was unheard of for this to be knocking other sort of big games like Assassin's Creed and Call of Duty off their perch, and it deserved it. Quite honestly, it absolutely deserved it. This game is one of the greatest games released without a doubt in the last decade, and I cannot sing its praises highly enough. Go out, or stay in should I say, and download this game. Like I said, turn the lights off, sit through, play through it in one go, and hopefully you'll have a gaming experience like no other. So thank you very much everyone. I've been Tim with Bridgeburner Gaming. Check out our podcast, Chit Chat with Tim and Matt, and go to our website, fishmonkeyproductions.com. Thank you very much, and I will see you all on the next video review. Bye guys, bye!